The sole purpose of this video is to provide a basic overview and orientation of your new apparatus. This video is not intended to act as or replace individualized driver-operator training. Individual fire departments may base guidelines, policies, and procedures tailored for best practices. Pierce Manufacturing and Hughes Fire Equipment representatives are not liable for injuries caused from acts resulting from actions inconsistent with the information provided within this video and/or accompanying manuals. Refer to the Operation and Maintenance Manual for complete details relating to the components and features of this apparatus. Only trained personnel should operate this vehicle or perform maintenance. You are responsible for learning how to operate this fire apparatus under all conditions without having to refer to the manual while operating at an emergency incident. This video will discuss types of warnings and caution labels. It is your responsibility to locate and identify each of the labels and understand the importance and associated hazards. Warning labels will point out procedure that must be taken or action that must be avoided to guard against the possibility of serious injury or death. Caution labels will advise you that there is a risk of damage to property if certain precautions are not followed. Continuous training, reviewing of operation and service manuals, developing good standardized practices will assist driver operators with a more complete understanding of the components and operation of this fire apparatus. As the driver operator of this vehicle, you are responsible for understanding the function of each component of the apparatus, maintaining control of the fire apparatus at all times while in operation. Make operational and functional changes while operating at an emergency without having to read operator's instructions or safety warning labels. Operate manual override and emergency shutdown procedures immediately if a component fails to operate properly. Components location may vary with each Pierce fire apparatus. Review the exact location of each component prior to operation. Major inconsistencies between your vehicle and the information contained in this video should be directed to your sales representative. Safe operation of any vehicle is the responsibility of the driver operator. You must learn the location and function of all controls, switches, gauges, valves, inlets, and discharges. Due to a higher center of gravity, heavy trucks have a significantly higher rollover tendency than other types of vehicles. To reduce the risk of rollover, avoid making sharp turns, excessive speed, and avoid abrupt maneuvers. In the event of a rollover crash, an unbelted person is significantly more likely to become injured or die than a person wearing a seatbelt. In the event of a crash, unbuckled occupants can also become a hazard to other occupants, as they may be thrown around inside the cab. Seatbelts are required while in operation. Please refer to your warranty certificates for details and information enclosed in your manuals. Customer-installed equipment must be mounted to withstand road travel and comply with NFPA 1901. Modifications such as drilling holes or welding to structural frame components of the chassis are not permitted. Contact Pierce for instruction and review of non-structural sheet metal or other dissimilar metals for modification. Follow the radio installation guide for further assistance on installing or mounting electronics. Before placing your new apparatus into service, perform a primary inspection of key components of the apparatus, including all fluid levels, anti-lock braking systems, electronic stability control, and automatic traction control. Weigh your apparatus to ensure that it conforms to axle and brake ratings. Never exceed the gross axle rating printed on the label inside the cab. Exceeding these ratings could lead to reduced component life, personal injury, or death. Review the use of auxiliary braking systems, compression brake, exhaust brake, electronic retarder, and hydraulic retarder. Before placing the apparatus in service, refer to the operational maintenance manuals. Information on the operation and maintenance functions for the components such as the pump, pressure governor, and foam systems, along with other options, is provided in either the Pierce manuals and/or other manufacturer support information delivered with the apparatus. If you need more information, please contact Hughes Fire Equipment. Congratulations, Redmond, Oregon, on your new apparatus, job number 30714. Please utilize this job number when referencing your vehicle with Hughes Fire Equipment. Let's get started on a brief orientation of your new apparatus. Let's start on the front bumper area. Located in the front bumper, you'll find your electronic siren. Moving up onto the top, you're going to find a tubbed hose storage area with 2 additional Velcro straps for securing your hose. On the passenger side, you'll find a swivel 1.5-inch discharge port. Moving up onto the grille, you'll find 2 forward-facing emergency lights. Moving on to the front body, you'll find a right and left headlight cluster with a turn indicator. Moving just behind that headlight cluster, you'll find an emergency warning light for the side. Up on the top of the fender, you'll find your right and left turn indicator. Here's an image of your front discharge, 1.5-inch swivel. Once again, an image of that tubbed storage location with the Velcro securing straps. Up on the top of the brow, you'll find running lights. Located in the center, you'll find a fixed forward-facing floodlight. Up on the top, you'll find a low-profile light bar. Moving down into the driver's area, on the door itself, you'll find additional warning and caution labels. Please familiarize yourself with these caution and warning labels through your owner's manual. On the right-hand side of the screen, just below the base of your adjustable seat, you'll find this, manufactured by Pierce Manufacturing. This has the manufacturer date, job number, gross vehicle weight rating, in addition with tire, rims, and cold tire inflation, in addition with the VIN number and any additional fluid information that you may need. Also located just beneath this area, you'll find your battery on-off switch. Just up from that, on the base of the seat, you'll find the inflator or deflator for your air ride seat. And just on the very far right-hand side, you'll find the adjustment for moving the seat forward and backwards. Generalized view of the inside of the cab of your apparatus. We'll go ahead and talk about some of the components on your dash. Let's first start in the upper left-hand corner, yellow. This is the pull to apply the parking brake, push to release your parking brake. This is your PTO shift at idle speeds only, and neutral for stationary, pumping, driving, or for pumping in motion. Moving up into the upper left-hand corner, you'll find an indicator that says pump engaged. This will illuminate if your pump is properly engaged. Just beneath that, you'll also have an OK to pump indicator. Moving down to the next set of lights, you'll find a OK to pump and roll. And on the opposite side, this is for your tank rack down. This is on the passenger side. This holds your portable tank. Moving up to the very top, you'll find your PTO pump switch. Moving to the right of that, this is going to be your high idle for the engine. And moving to the right, this is the alarm reset switch. Moving down to the next set of images, these switches here, this is your regen. Next to it, find your brake, high-low. Moving to the right, you'll find your mirror heat. Moving further to the right, you'll find your differential lock. Let's go ahead and move to the opposite side here. This is closer to the passenger side. Do not move truck indicator. OK to engage the high idle. And your battery. Also located to the left-hand side, this is your Pierce Information Center regarding the 2 possible seat belts. Red indicating the seat is occupied and not belted. Green indicating the seat is occupied and belted. Let's go ahead and move directly over the operator's head, starting first with the emergency master switch. Moving to the right, your lower zone lights. And moving further to the right is your rear zone. These are all going to be controlled through that emergency switch if you choose, or independently switched. To the right, you'll find your siren or horn selector switch. Moving to the right, you'll find your additional blank and also your front flood. Let's go ahead and move all the way to the center overhead. This is going to be a cluster of switches here in addition with some blanks. And to the far right, you'll find closer to the passenger seat your emergency siren and PA system. Let's talk a little bit about this set of rocker switches and some of the other switches in this area. First, starting with the left scene at the very top, moving next to the right scene, and then to your rear scene lights. These are the three switches that currently are in operational positions. The others to the right of that are our future locations for future switches if needed. We're back outside of your cab. In between the cab and the midsection of your pump, there are three sections here. These are all cross lays. They are all storage locations for hose for pre-connected hose. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about your pump panel. Let's start in the upper left-hand corner of your pump panel. Start at the very top. This is your pump discharge. This is your pump intake. Located just beneath that area, you'll find two test ports for vacuum and pressure. They are currently plugged. At the very top, you'll find your water level. Moving to the right, you'll find your pressure and throttle control. Let's go ahead and move down just beneath the throttle control. You'll find a black round device. This is an audible speaker for your warning. And just to the right of that, you'll find your pump engaged indicator. Let's take a look at some of the cross lays and discharges here. First in yellow, cross lay number 1. In red, number 1 driver side. That's a 2.5-inch discharge. In orange, number 2 passenger side, a 2.5-inch discharge. Just down from that, you'll find the number 2 cross lay in the gray or white color, I should say. And in purple, you'll find your front discharge. Moving to the right, the number 2 discharge once again in orange. Moving further right to the very edge, you'll find your tank fill recirculating line. And just beneath that, you'll find your tank to pump. Let's go ahead and move down to the next section here. This is that red 2.5-inch discharge port. Moving to the right of that, you'll find your large diameter intake. Moving further down, this is your 2.5-inch auxiliary inlet. This is a female inlet ball valve. And all the way to the far right, you'll find this blue cap, which is your DEF fill location. To the far right-hand side, you'll find a work or step light. And let's talk about your shore inlet. This is a 20-amp shore inlet plug. Down on the far right-hand side next to the 2.5 inlet, this is the air inlet chuck. And just beneath that, this is your main pump drain. Let's go ahead and take a look at the side of the apparatus. As you can see on the right and left side, you'll find you have a visual indicator for your pump water tank and also 2 side-facing floodlights. You'll also find a mid indicator or running turn indicator on the left side and also on the right. And you'll find an emergency warning light between your two dual axles. Let's go ahead and take a look in the very first compartment. The compartment has lighting with inside, in addition with an adjustable shelf. And at the very top, we'll talk about this item. This is when plugged into shore power. This is your battery charger. Moving further back, you'll find between the duals, you'll find 2 locations for bottle storage on this side and on the opposite side. There are also straps to attach to those bottles for security. This is going to be the very rear compartment on the driver's side. And now we'll move to the very rear of the apparatus, talk about some of the components here. First, let's start down in the lighting cluster here on the right and left. You can see you have a turn indicator, brake, emergency light, and a backup. There are also 2 rear-facing locations for attachment points or tow hooks. Just up above those clusters of reverse lights and backup lights, you'll find this compartment on both the right and left side. Those are for hose storage. There is also a switch here for your hose bed lights. In the very rear section, this is your rear dump, which is adjustable. Moving up just from that location, you'll find a 2.5 rear inlet. This is a female threaded coupling and a ball valve. Once again, above this cluster, you'll find an additional location for hose storage. Let's go ahead and move up to the very top of your apparatus. Would like to talk about the top fill location. There is also a secure grip location here so that you don't slip while walking, and also your water tank fill. Here's a general view of the side of your vehicle, passenger side. In the upper left-hand corner, you'll find an emergency side-facing light. Also, you'll find in the front and in the rear, side-facing floodlights. Let's look down at the very base of the apparatus here in the rear compartment. This compartment is lit. It is a roll-up compartment door. Moving just forward of that location, you'll find an additional roll-up door and also a label here warning you for diesel temperatures of exhaust is extremely hot. This is going to be the general location of your powered rack for your portable water tank. At the very top, once again, you have a side-facing flood. Just in front of that, you'll find your indicator light for the amount of water in your tank. Generalized view of the side of your apparatus. Let's talk about some of the components in the midship area. First, let's start here. This is going to be a warning label regarding the use of these valves that are charged and the potential dangers with those caps being under pressure. Moving to the center, you'll find your large diameter intake. And to the right, you'll find a 2.5-inch discharge color-coded in orange. Down at the very bottom, all 4 of these are going to be your drain valves associated with each one of those discharges. Behind this compartment is your access point for any inspections inside the pump panel area, and also down in the very bottom corner, your powered equipment rack. Your powered equipment rack has 2 switches on it. First, the master on-off, which will indicate by a green light, and you have the up-down for lifting that powered equipment rack. Let's go and move just inside the passenger door. On that door, you'll find once again warning and hazard and caution labels. Please familiarize yourself with your owner's manual. Looking overhead, you can see the same components we talked about in addition with your visors and storage locations. Congratulations, Redmond, Oregon, on your new apparatus, job number 30714. If you have any questions as to the content of this video or any further questions, please contact your Hughes Fire sales representative. Thank you and congratulations.